be an apostle. You don't have to be an evangelist. You don't have to be a apostle or a prophet or an evangelist or a pastor or a teacher. I feel comfortable telling people my main calling is teaching. People want to rewrite the word and say, oh, it's pastor teacher. So that means there's a fourfold ministry, not a fivefold. Because the pastor teacher is one gift, and it's not separate, then that makes apostles, prophets, evangelists, and pastor teachers four. Okay? People don't think about what they're saying and how there has to be harmony with what they believe and what they say. Now, Bishop uses a term that I like. He simplifies this thing. He keeps asking us, what does it look like? Now, if you want something fancier, we can use the term manifestation. That's a fancy word for what does it look like. A manifestation is readily to perceive by the eye or the understanding evident. We want to make God evident in your life, easily perceived. When people look at you, they know that there's something different about you, and they watch your behavior, and they will see God showing himself. They will look at you, and they will see God. What does it look like? It's manifest in your life. That manifestation, it's obvious that you're a Christian. It's apparent. It's plain. There's nothing complex about it. They don't have to pick your life apart and see that you are a Christian. Now, this is not easy. As I said earlier, everybody in the Bible, other than Jesus Christ, is a flawed individual. Every single one of them have their faults. That should make you and I comfortable. We look at our faults and we look at their faults. We look at Moses and his triumphs and Moses and his faults. Moses, under the instruction of God, takes a stick and he beats a rock, and out of the rock in the middle of the desert, the hot, driest place, one of the driest places in the world, flows water. Enough water to quench the thirst of possibly 3 million people who came out of Egypt into the promised land. And it was a mixed congregation. God did not discriminate. He let some of the other slaves who weren't direct descendants of Abraham escape and then worship him in Israel too. But then, instead of him letting God be on the throne, the next time he's worried about what the people are going to say. And instead of speaking to the rock like God told him, he strikes it again. And his downfall is he was not allowed to enter into the promised land. Flawed individuals. And we, in our flaws, have to slowly, painstakingly, patiently continue to mature and grow in God so that we can be what God wants us to be. Now, our attendance tonight is smaller than normal. It's small normally, but now it's even smaller. And some of the things that I'm going to say to you that I'm preaching to the choir, but I'm encouraging you because what you get tonight, I want you to take mental notes of it. If you got some paper, write it down, the scriptures, and when you go home today or tomorrow, when you sit with a cup of coffee, go over these scriptures again, meditate on them, think about them, and let them become part of you, because even my little 12-year-old 7th grade student, who is now grown with a grown son, will have to be in a position of the older woman telling some of the younger ones how to love their husbands, how to raise their children. Sometimes you're going to tell them about your mistakes and don't follow my mistakes. And sometimes you're going to tell them, well, I tried this and it worked, and it may work for you. To make clear or evident to the eye or understanding, show plainly, he manifested his approval with a hearty laugh. Yeah, I should have made this much lighter. To prove, put beyond doubt, or question evidence manifest the guilt of the defendant. I won't go through all of this, but it also talks about how a big semi truck, when it makes a delivery at a store, has in it a manifest. It's a list of everything in the car, all of the cargo there. If a big container ship pulls into port, they have a manifest showing what is in each one of the containers that is on that ship. And sometimes where each container came from. And sometimes the police or the officials will look on it and see, one of them came from Colombia. Well, they might open it up and sniff around and see if some bad stuff has been snuck in there along with the stuff on the manifest. But to manifest God in your life means to show the world and make it plain to them. Now, 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 1, we're going to spend a lot of time tonight in 1 Corinthians chapter 7. We're going to jump around a little bit because when Paul wrote these things on paper, he was having a conversation with the pastor of the church in Corinth. He was responding to questions that pastor had written him about. He was mentoring that pastor as a bishop or an apostle. He was helping that pastor help the people in that church. And he sort of jumps back and forth, so I took the scriptures and rearranged them a little bit to be consistent with some of these, a little more consistent. So we're going to jump around, but we're going to be consistent. Now, regarding the questions you asked in your letter, yes, it is good to live a celibate life. They were asking him about this. Now, I studied a little bit of the history of Bible times, and I know that there was a sect that grew up, and they were teaching that to be a Christian, you had to totally deny the flesh. Now, that initially sounds good, deny the flesh. We know our bodies are going to want us to do something that we have no business doing, that is going to hurt us. Our taste buds want something sweet, when what we need is something